doing my best not to vomit, Yuval. So let me just acknowledge that if the only way, in my view, for Israel to maintain the moral high ground is to not capitulate to the religious messianic fanaticism that you're describing, right? So if that got sufficiently energized and it became just rival theologies on the two sides, I would still have a reason to prefer the Jewish version because it's not a missionary religion. It doesn't have a clear conception of the afterlife. It doesn't have a cult of martyrdom that is so easily justified, right? So it matters specifically what people believe. But I'll grant you, that's an intolerable mess wherein the moral math becomes very difficult to calculate. Currently, I do think there's a profound asymmetry in the level of just religious fanaticism. Even a perfectly secular, tolerant society between the river and the sea at this moment is unsustainable. And that the only way to possibly sustain it is to actually defeat Hamas and defeat Hezbollah and defeat Iran, right? So that we're really talking about a final ripping off of the Band-Aid, which is all of these triumphalist ideologies that go under the rubric of both Shia and Sunni jihadism need to be finally discredited in a war that just makes it absolutely clear that Israel is here to stay and its enemies can no longer put its existence in question. How do we get to some sort of ground truth where an open society can be defended from its enemies and its enemies in their current form are no longer as close to winning as they imagine themselves to be?
Yeah, so Israel have every right to defend itself. And it certainly with enemies like Hamas and like Hezbollah and like Iran, at least with its current ideology, they don't even talk about peace. I listen to what people say. They say ceasefire.
Yeah.
Like even here, the people who have demonstrations in support of them, they don't use the word peace.
No,
they use the word ceasefire.
Yeah, it's a regrouping. They might regrouping for a further attack.
I'm in favor of peace.
Yeah.
I mean, ceasefire, no, that's not a good idea. We need peace. Ceasefire is just, you prepare your forces for the next time. We don't need that. Now, how do you reach peace? So the first step is to acknowledge reality. I think every war, deep down, is an attempt to destroy, annihilate part of reality that you are unwilling to acknowledge. And the first step to peace is to acknowledge the reality. Putin invades Ukraine because in his mind, Ukraine just doesn't exist. And then he looks at the map and it's there and he says, no. It doesn't exist. Instead of changing my mind, I will change the map. I will change reality. And this is the deep root of also the conflict in my part of the world, on both sides. Israelis, deep down, a lot of Israelis say there is no such thing as a Palestinian people, and Palestinians don't have a right to exist. They just refuse to accept that. God gave this whole place to us. And you go to the Palestinians, and most of them will say the same thing. They say, the Jews, what have Jews got to do with Jerusalem? And they are serious. I mean, this is the amazing thing, the ability of the human mind to deny things. And maybe this is a good segue also to meditation. The ability of human minds to deny reality. So you have Palestinians, you have their supporters also here in the US, and they honestly, seriously tell you, but Jews have nothing to do with Jerusalem and the land between the Mediterranean and the Jordan River. They have no right to exist there. And this is the place where real change can begin. Because until now, every time there was an attempt to make an agreement between Jews and Palestinians, both sides tell themselves deep down, the other side still wants to annihilate us. They are willing to make a compromise because they are not strong enough to destroy us, But we should not fool ourselves. These people really want to destroy us. So in 10 or 20 or 30 years, when they will be stronger, they will be coming for us. I mean, even after October 7th, again, there was a lot of voices in the Israeli government and media that let's just expel all the Palestinians from Gaza.
Yeah.
And the reason this didn't happen is because there is a bigger world. And again, many people in Israel supported it. Not everybody. I certainly did it. My friends didn't. But there are a lot of forces in powerful places saying, that's it. We should just expel the whole of them. And it didn't happen.
But I also think many countries would have done that. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a measure of the precarious status of Israel in the eyes of the rest of the world that concern about how they're viewed has as much of an effect as it has post October 7th. I think many countries would have said, okay, this experiment, this social experiment is over. There's no two-state solution. We like this phrase from the river to the sea that you're all fans of now, and you're all getting out of here. And ethnic cleansing is not the same as genocide. Ethnic cleansing is not the same as genocide. The moral math becomes very difficult to calculate. Ethnic cleansing is not the same as genocide. We've prepared very nice buses for you all to go to Egypt and Jordan, where these people will be familiar to you, and it's over.
Yeah.
Right. And no one need die in the process, right? Just we need a defensible homeland.
وين الصاروخ طيب؟ بس هذا الإصابة؟ طفل كنا. يا الله. يا ويلي. مقطع. طب كيف يعني قصفوا ليه؟
نشكوا فيه. زمان.
جرحى ومصابين كمان. هداك استشهد المرمي على الأرض.
خبطوه كمان صاروخ.
حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. هاي في مصابين.
هذول راح انقذوه يا سيارة.
رموا مرتين.
مليح المال. مليح اللي استشهد هذا لأنه انقطع.
يا ويلي معقول استشهد؟
أكيد.
اتحرك يا عم شفت آخر أنفاس.
بدي يزعق. تعالوا لما جوا هذول صار يصرخوا.
كل هدول جرح.
هذول جرح تو في الصاروخ الثاني. هذا الصاروخ الثاني. اللي بقرب عليه بقصوه.
مستهدف.
استشهد.
الله يرحمه. ايش بقول؟
That's honestly from a sane, given the nature, given the explicitly genocidal nature of the conversation on the other side. Ethnic cleansing is not the same as genocide. It would be totally understandable to try to solve the problem that way. And so it's a measure of one, I think this, the pressure you're alleging is operative, which I'm sure must be, but it's also as a measure of how civilized and secular and committed to tolerance many Israelis are, right? I mean,
Many, yes.
Yeah.